your kingdom here. Let the darkness fear. Show your mighty hand. Heal our streets and
I'm going to pray though. I'm going to pray. Daddy God, we thank you for your word. We just thank you that your word is good. We just thank you that you are good. And I just pray for the next few minutes, I just pray that you just touch my tongue and give me the words that you would have me say. And I just pray that they were received as they are given in love. And I just pray that your presence would just continue to be with us. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, cool. So that was a lot. The first two verses say, if then you were raised with Christ, seek those things which are above where Christ is, sitting at the right hand of God. Set your mind on things above, not on things on the earth. I feel led to say this is just that your perception is oftentimes your reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The way you perceive the world, that becomes real to you. What standpoint, where you see yourself in the world, oftentimes affects how you process the world, how you interpret what is going on in the world, and how you pour out into the world around you. Where you are positioned, what you are focused on, how you look at yourself, how you look at other people, all of these things go into what your reality is. The first thing that we can take away from this is that we have to have an understanding of our position. Where are we right now? If you have chosen Christ, you are positioned with Him. If you've accepted Christ into your life, you are positioned with Him. This verse gives a lot of people a hard time because the verse literally says, if then you were raised with Christ, saying that when Christ went to hell, got the keys to life, or to life, death, the grave, took all that authority away, and when He was raised up, saying that when He raised up, He raised us up with Him. He took us from the standpoint of you're under the curse, you're separated from God, you can't get close to Him, you have to do all these things to get to Him, you have no authority on heaven and on earth. You know, He took us from the bottom of all of that and said, I'm lifting you up and I'm positioning you over all of that on the right hand of God. The enemy uses tools of unloving and rejection to get us to believe that we are wretches groveling in a sinful existence, and we are waiting for Him, being God, to save us, but we can't ask Him to save us because we are just that wretched. He uses those things, those tools of unloving and rejection to get us to stay away from that position, because He doesn't want us positioned in that way. Because if He can keep us positioned down here, then we can't reign over our situations from up here.
Come on.
If He can convince us that we're still cursed, then we're going to remain cursed. If He can convince us that we're the sons of disobedience, then we're going to remain disobedient. If He can convince us that we're not worth God's time, then guess what? We're not going to be worth God's time. If He can keep us in our minds positioned down there, then He's nullifying the army of God. He doesn't have to fight us. We are in this world, but we are not of this world. We aren't called to be wretches. We aren't called to be under the curse. We are called to walk out sanctification. We get to sanctification by following His truth. And when we follow His truth, we're following His voice. We get into His will, and we walk out our sanctification, get closer to Him, so we can reign from up here and not down there. Jesus declared that we are not of this world, even though we live in it. Our position is this: even though we live in this world, we are not of this world. Even though we have to deal with sin, our original state is not sinful. He raised us up with Him. The distraction is to seek the world and get caught up with what the world says instead of what He says. Because in this world, there's a lot of things that are said that are quoted to be wise when they are said from a position of fear, control, manipulation, unloving, rejection, and all that. Just because that's the world we live in. It is a sinful world. And oftentimes we go out into the world and we live in the world, and it gets really, really, really confusing because there's all of this stuff that gets thrown at us, and then we're not able to sit back and figure out, okay, well, where am I in all of this?